Hello folks, a bit of news for you that's hot off the press. So I've just got some basics on this, but the FCA have come out about this whole car finance mis-selling thing and basically said that they're looking at an industry-wide redress scheme. And I'll tell you what that means in a sec, but they've said they're consulting about it at the moment, and consulting about it means it might not happen, but it probably is. Now, I just did a video last week about these mis-selling schemes and how you can make a claim for free without using one of these third-party companies that are going to take 25 or 30% of what it is that you might actually get back in compensation. But you might not even need to do that. You might not even need to put in a claim at all, because a redress scheme will mean the FCA will say to all the lenders involved that you have to go and find the customers and pay them this much compensation, and they'll give them a formula to work out whatever that payment figure is. And it could be something like, well, the interest was supposed to be 3% and you charged 10%, so you've got to pay back the 7%. Or they might say, well, you can have 1% for your efforts, but anything above that you've got to pay back. It could be anything. Don't know what it would look like. It could be that they've got to pay you back half. No one's got any idea what that will look like yet, but that's the idea. But this looks like it will happen for these discretionary commission arrangement cases. And they are exactly that. They're the ones where the car finance has been sold to you at, say, 10%, but actually the cost price, if you like, of that car finance was 4%. And the car dealership has just inflated it, and they had that agreement with the lender that they could inflate it. And that's 40% of PCPs or HP deals that were sold between certain dates in 2007 and 2021. So a lot of people will be affected by this. How they find you, if you've moved house or moved on, changed names, anything like that, is a bit unclear, but it will be down to these lenders to make sure they find you. So I'm sure they'll have pages on their websites for you to go and register if need be, if you haven't heard anything by a certain date. That's the first one, is the discretionary credit arrangement thing, and that looks like it's going to be the big one. There is also an outside chance of a second one. There's a case going on at the moment, and it's called commission disclosure. And if this one happened, it would be huge, and it would go into the tens of billions, multiple tens of billions potentially. And this would affect people that have leased. So it would apply to any kind of car finance. So leasing, HP, PCP, you name it. Any car dealership that sold you a car and hasn't told you how much commission they're taking would be in trouble with this. Now, personally, I don't think that's got a cat in hell's chance of happening, because the financial ramifications would be huge. It would be a massive, massive kick to the economy. I don't think it's going to happen. Now, there was a case that went in favour of the claimant that went through the courts, but that's now under appeal. And I think the hearing for that's going to be early April, the appeal. And the decision will obviously come a bit further down the line. But it seems unlikely that that one will happen, because the potential sort of ramifications of that are going to be so widespread and massive, it would cause economic disaster in some areas. But the first one looks like it is happening. So if you want to go ahead, I did that video last week where I showed you the things on the Money Saving Expert website where you can go and put in a claim completely free. If you want to do that anyway, you can, but I wouldn't break your neck over it, because it looks like you won't even have to go to that trouble, because these car finance companies are going to have to come after you and say, we missold you something and we're going to pay you X. And the amount they pay you will be fixed by the FCA. It will be what they're told to pay you. So this could be a big one. There's no mention in any of this of car finance being missold by the salesperson in a more traditional sense, which is where they make you sit through a car finance sales presentation, even though you've told them you want to pay cash, or they offer you unfair inducements for taking car finance. You should never be unfairly induced into taking finance. If you say, I want to pay cash, and they say, well, if you take our finance, we'll give you free MOTs, that's an unfair inducement. And there's still no mention of that from the FCA. And it may just be that that one's too big a can of worms to see the light of day. But you never know. This is big stuff happening at the moment. Keep your eyes peeled to the channel. This is all very fresh. I haven't got all the answers. I'm just picking up on things I've read, things I've watched, and trying to give you a quick little update on it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.